Every time you connect to Wi-Fi or use Bluetooth, you're relying on a high-tech invention designed by a woman whose mind was dismissed as decoration. In 1942, the world's most beautiful actress patented the foundation of modern wireless, while secretly learning weapons science at Nazi dinner tables and rebuilding her life in Hollywood labs. How did a 1930s child prodigy from Vienna outsmart the military, change the future, and nearly vanish from history? This is the untold story you've never truly heard. Hedy Lamarr was born in Vienna in 1914. The only child of Emil Kiesler, a banker with a passion for technology. From the time she could walk, her father led her on long walks through the city, pointing out how the streetcars drew power from overhead wires and how bridges were engineered to hold their weight. At 5, Hedy took apart her music box, not to break it, but to see how the gears and springs made the melody. She put it back together perfectly. By 10, she spoke 4 languages and read engineering magazines for fun. Vienna in the early 20th century thrummed with invention, and Hedy absorbed every detail. She was a child who saw machines not as mysteries, but as puzzles waiting to be solved. The world saw a little girl. Her father saw a mind built for understanding how things work. At 18, Hedy Kiesler married Friedrich Mandl, a man twice her age and one of Austria's most powerful arms dealers. Their home became a fortress of secrets, where Lamarr was expected to remain silent, her opinions unwelcome. Night after night, she sat at Mandl's elaborate dinner tables, surrounded by men whose names carried weight across Europe, military officers, scientists, and political figures loyal to fascist regimes. The air was thick with conversations about weapons contracts, munition shipments, and the latest advances in radio-controlled armaments. Lamarr listened, absorbing technical details about torpedo guidance and the vulnerabilities of radio signals, how a single frequency could be jammed, how entire systems could be sabotaged. She was treated as an ornament, but every whispered plan and technical flaw became part of her hidden education. The walls of Mandl's grand estate kept her captive, but they could not keep out the ideas that would one day help her change the world. Hedy arrived in London with nothing but determination in a single suitcase, then booked passage to America on the Normandy. On board, she crossed paths with Louis B. Mayer, head of MGM, and negotiated a contract that would pay her $600 a week, an extraordinary sum in 1937, especially for an unknown European actress. Hollywood welcomed her as a star, but what truly set her apart was her curiosity. She struck up a friendship with Howard Hughes, the aviation magnate known for breaking records and building airplanes. Hughes noticed her technical mind and gave her a small set of tools and drafting equipment, encouraging her to work on inventions between takes. At home, she set up an inventing table and filled notebooks with sketches. Studying the fastest fish and birds, she designed a new wing shape for Hughes' planes, blending nature and engineering. Hughes called her a genius, and for the first time, Hedy had the freedom and support to turn her ideas into reality. September 17, 1940. News of the SS City of Benares torpedoing reached Hedy Lamarr in Los Angeles. Among the 260 dead were dozens of children, evacuees fleeing the Blitz. The loss haunted her. She could not simply stand by, earning Hollywood paychecks while the war swallowed lives across the Atlantic. Lamarr knew from her early days in Austria that radio-controlled torpedoes could be jammed by the enemy, one frequency, one point of failure. She wanted to fix it. At a dinner party that year, she met George Antheil, a composer famous for synchronizing 16-player pianos in his concerts. Lamarr shared her idea. What if a torpedo's guidance signal could jump unpredictably from frequency to frequency, too fast for any enemy to block? Antheil understood the problem and the rhythm. He suggested using a punched paper roll, just like those in player pianos, to coordinate the jumps between the transmitter and receiver. Each roll would have 88 channels, one for every key on the piano, allowing both ends to hop in perfect unison. They worked for months sketching diagrams and running calculations. The transmitter would send signals that leapt from one frequency to another, following a coded sequence. The receiver, equipped with an identical roll, would keep pace. Anyone trying to jam the signal would only catch fleeting fragments, never the whole message. On June 10, 1941, Lamarr and Antheil filed their patent application for a secret communication system. The patent was granted on August 11, 1942, as U.S. Patent 2,292,387. Their invention promised to make Allied torpedoes invisible to enemy jammers, using nothing more than music, mathematics, and a deep refusal to accept the world as it was. The Navy's response arrived as a cold dismissal. Lamarr and Antheil's patent, stamped and filed, was shuffled into a bureaucratic maze. On paper, the invention promised to solve a deadly wartime problem. In practice, it was met with skepticism, then indifference. The Navy's evaluators saw a mechanical system built around player piano rolls and 88 frequencies, but they couldn't see past the inventor's backgrounds. An actress and a composer, outsiders, both. Instead of testing the design or building a prototype, officials labeled the apparatus too cumbersome for combat, quietly shelved the idea. Rumors swirled that Lamarr should go sell kisses for the war effort, whether those words were ever written in a memo or only spoken behind closed doors. The message was clear. The military wanted her on stage, not in the laboratory. Her invention was classified as top secret, and because she was Austrian-born, the patent was treated as property of an enemy alien. The government locked it away, denying her any control or compensation. For Lamarr, it was a brutal lesson in how institutions guard their own gates. The patent sat unused for years, gathering dust until it expired in 1959. Lamarr and Antheil received neither recognition nor royalties. The world kept spinning, wireless signals kept jamming, and the war moved on without the solution she had handed them. October 1962. American destroyers and submarines circle Cuba, their torpedoes guided by radio signals that now leap unpredictably from frequency to frequency. The world stands on the edge of nuclear war. Deep inside these naval systems, engineers have finally adopted the very principle Hedy Lamarr and George Antheil patented 2 decades before: frequency hopping, now executed with electronic precision. No more piano rolls, no more skepticism. The technology makes it nearly impossible for Soviet jammers to block commands or track signals. The Navy never credited Lamarr or Antheil, but their invention, once dismissed as impractical, now protects fleets and shapes the outcome of the most dangerous standoff of the Cold War. After the crisis, the concept spreads beyond the military. In the 1980s, as the government declassifies wartime innovations, frequency hopping finds new life in civilian technology. Early Wi-Fi routers use it to dodge interference. Bluetooth headsets rely on the same logic to keep conversations clear in a crowded spectrum. GPS satellites use spread spectrum techniques to deliver location data to billions of devices. Wireless communication, once a fragile link, becomes robust, secure, and everywhere. By 2017, the market built on Lamarr's idea is valued at more than $30 billion. Recognition comes late. In 1997, the Electronic Frontier Foundation honors Lamarr and Antheil with the Pioneer Award. That same year, Lamarr becomes the first woman to receive the Bowlby Nass Spirit of Achievement Award, the so-called Oscars of inventing. Her son, Anthony Loder, describes her as a relentless problem solver, someone who, given any challenge, would chase a solution. The world finally sees what she always was. Not just a face on a movie poster, but the mind behind the wireless revolution. Today, wireless connections drive everything from hospitals to protests, built on technology first dismissed as a Hollywood fantasy. As innovation outpaces recognition, Lamarr's story is a reminder. Brilliance can come from anywhere. The future of invention demands we look past the obvious. What genius might we be missing now?